I think it's a privilege to call yourself a Scientologist, and it's something that you have to earn.
Other churches that demand to destroy people's lives if they leave and speak out publicly against it. I don't know real churches who demand families to break apart.
These are the times we will all remember. Were you there? What did you do? So what do you say? Will you clean this place up? Huh?
To me, Scientology has to be the most talked about, controversial cult that exists in this world. And I find it very hard to believe that most people don't know about this, or at least haven't heard of it. And again, most people probably that don't know a lot about Scientology would know that Tom Cruise is a prominent member of this. They basically use psychological warfare to control their members. They gaslight them. They manipulate every aspect of their lives. They have a vast amount of tax-free wealth because they're considered a religion in the States, and they use that to buy property all over the world, but they also use it to have a expensive team of lawyers that will literally go after anyone who decides to openly criticize this religion. The creator of Scientology was a man by the name of L. Ron Hubbard, and I kid you not when I say this, he was a science fiction writer. In 1950, he published a book by the name of Dianetics, the Modern Science of Mental Health, which was a pseudoscience system that he claimed to have developed from a combination of personal experience, principles of Eastern philosophy, and the work of Sigmund Freud. Hubbard basically believed that the ability of Dianetics could cure illnesses, and also claimed that most diseases had a psychocosmetic origin, and he believed that through Dianetics he could improve the health of people that suffer with asthma, arthritis, dermatitis, allergies, coronary disease, bruises, ulcers, etc., etc. And he claimed that most mental disorders could be cured. It's important to note that, without me getting into too much of the heavy detail about the book, pretty much the scientific community at this time criticized it. They shut it down. Although the book uses a lot of scientific terminology, there isn't any real basis or fact in what he has written. And I think it's fair to say the fact that he's a science fiction writer, that you wouldn't really put much importance in what he has to say. Scientologists believe today that this was a key historic event in their religion, and they consider it book number one. They consider this book almost like a Bible to them. So what is their belief system? Well, basically Scientologists believe that they're all mortal beings called Thetans.
That does fundamentally believe that we are all immortal spiritual beings called Thetans, that we have native godlike potential, that there is nothing more powerful in the universe than a Thetan. So godlike is, quite literal here. And that through various decisions Thetans have made, they have fallen away from their native godlike power to fallen down to a state where most Thetans aren't even aware that they are Thetans, aren't even aware that they ever have lived before.
So basically a Thetan is the soul. And the idea is that the soul goes from body to body that's forever trapped, and based on the poor decisions you make in life, the cycle repeats. So the idea is you use Scientology to break that cycle to actually become free of your bodily trap. Now the way they do this is a system called auditing. Auditing is a central practice in Scientology where a trained auditor guides a person through a series of questions and exercises discovered to uncover and address the past traumas they've had in their own life as well as other lives. Now this is known as an engram. You do this basically over and over to erase these engrams, and basically the goal is to remove as much engrams as possible from the body to create a state of spiritual clarity and freedom. Now you might be wondering, how do they measure these things? Well, during auditing sessions, Scientologists use a device called an e-meter, which is believed to measure the individual's mental state and help identify areas of spiritual distress. Now, is there any science behind this? No. The other thing they measure is a thing known as Thetan levels, which is basically a hierarchical structure where practitioners progress through the various levels of spiritual awareness and knowledge. So the more they progress through these levels, the more they learn about the religion and about the secrets of life. And these levels are known as operating Thetan or OT levels. Scientology also teaches the creation story, which involves an apparent cosmic battle between Titans and evil ruler named Xenu, who supposedly banished billions of Thetans to Earth, leading to their entrapment in human bodies that we see today. Now, when it comes to media, Scientologists don't like speaking to the media, and everything we kind of learn about Scientology comes from ex-members of the church. They control the narrative within their religion, and no one is basically allowed to talk to the media about the religions. I want to talk about the most prominent member of Scientology who has given us the most impact, who has been fearless and who has been regimentally, relentlessly attacking this church and making sure people are aware of how evil the practices that are in this church and how evil the organization is. And this is an actress by the name of Leah Remini, who you might know played Carrie in the role in Kings and Queens. And although she's been threatened, she's been followed, she's been threatened with legal action, she is relentlessly outspoken and will do everything in her power to fight back. She also states that in the doctrine they are required to find out what is most important to a member or ex-member and to exploit it. She's known by the church what is known as a suppressor, which is someone who basically is considered an enemy of the church. And she talks about the bridge progression, which is basically when you advance through the levels of the bridge to total freedom. It requires a considerable amount of time, effort, and financial resources. Members are encouraged to complete each level of spiritual attainment and achieving that state of clear and beyond. Now, one of the biggest gripes I would have with the religion, and this is something that Miss Remini also has, is of course the money aspect of this. Now, like any religion, as I talked about in many of my other videos, and not surprisingly with this particular religion, is you have to give them your wealth. And according to Leah, you have to donate a minimum of 250 grand to the religion, and they take a percentage of all the money you make. So like anything else, it's down to money and greed and power, and how much you have to pay to go through the different auditing systems, to go through the bridge progression, like all these things that you're forced to invest money in. Now, another prominent member that's still currently a member of the Scientology religion or cult is of course Tom Cruise. Now, Tom Cruise is without a doubt one of the most influential and powerful members of the Scientology religion. He's a true believer of this cult, and although we don't know the exact number he has donated to the church, you can imagine it's in the millions if not more, considering his vast wealth. He's also a high-ranking member and certainly the highest-ranking celebrity member in this cult. Because of his fame, he is given a lot more freedom than any other member. He is literally the ultimate poster boy for this religion. In this leaked video, Cruz explains how important this religion is.
He's on getting people off drugs. We are the authorities on the mind. We are the authorities on improving conditions. Criminon, we can rehabilitate criminals. Way to happiness, we can bring peace and unite cultures.
Pretty crazy, isn't it? Now, Cruz has been a significant figure in Scientology's public relations efforts. His star power has been utilized by the church to promote its image and defend against criticism. Cruz has spoken out in interviews and public appearances to defend Scientology and its practices. Some former members and critics of the religion claim that Cruz's celebrity status has allowed him to bypass certain rules and protocols within the organization, and in which he receives preferential treatment, which isn't surprising at all. The funny thing about Cruz to me, though, is that we all seem to collectively just accept that he's a member of this corrupt religion, and we go see his movies because they're always amazing, and we separate the art from the artist. And I don't know if it's his charisma or his charm, but we just all seem to just forget that he's a Scientologist. Tom has also reportedly recruited John Travolta, his former wife Hayley Holmes, and fellow actor Jenna Elfman. Now that we have a bit more of a background about the religion, I want to talk about the dangers of the cult. Like I mentioned before, financial exploitation is a huge part of their game. They basically force their members to pay for expensive courses, counseling sessions, which I mentioned, known as auditing, for materials which can cost members significant amount of money over time. Now, another nasty thing they do, which is very similar to Jehovah's Witnesses from my understanding, is that any sort of former member of Scientology is reported to be completely isolated from family and friends who are not part of the religion. Now, another thing which comes with every single religion I have ever researched is abuse. Now, this church has had numerous allegations of physical, emotional, psychological abuse within their community, including forced labor, confinement, and mistreatment of members. Former high-ranking members have come forward with accounts of abuse they experienced and witnessed within the organization. And again, like any religion, abuse is always apparent. They're also very good at harassing people, and they aggressively pursue legal action against critics, ex-members, and media outlets that publish negative comments. And because of their fast wealth, they can pay the most expensive lawyers in the country. And this is to intimidate ex-members, to intimidate people from criticizing, and I think it's pretty disgusting behavior. They also have these hierarchies where there's, different levels of power, and there's a lack of transparency with its members. Like, Scientology operates with these secrecy and does not disclose information to everyone, and because of the lack of transparency, it makes it difficult for the members to fully understand the church, as well as us outsiders to fully understand the church. You can't talk about Scientology without mentioning the leader of Scientology, which is David Miscavige. He's known for his tight control over the Scientology organization. He's been accused by former high-ranking members of implementing harsh disciplinary measures, censorship and intimidation tactics to maintain control. But one of the most weirdest things about Miscavige is his wife, who Leah Remini reported to the police as missing in 2013. Basically, Scientologists have claimed that the wife is fine and she just doesn't want to be seen publicly, and the police apparently have claimed that they've spoken to her. Now, there's various different theories. A lot of people believe she's probably dead, but as of the last update in January 2022, there was no public sightings or updates regarding Mr. Miscavige's wife's status. I suppose, like I said, based off the other religions I've covered on this channel, you could call them a religion, as they practice a lot of the evil crimes and behaviors that we've seen in the Catholic Church, that we've seen in the Mormon religion, that we've seen in the Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, these communities all follow the same patterns, and I'm not remotely surprised to find that Scientology is the exact same. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I know it's been about a month since I've uploaded any sort of thing on my channel. I was away, I took a break, and I went to Bali for a month. I only literally came back yesterday, as of recording this yesterday. And as you can tell, my setup is slightly different. I'm not currently living where I used to live. I'm temporarily living in a friend's house, yada yada yada, personal reasons, blah blah blah. But videos will be coming again more frequently as they were before, hopefully. And so thanks, for sticking around despite the fact that there hasn't been a video in a long time. I do want to keep making these, and my coverage of the Scientology religion that I just did is, it's not supposed to be a deep dive. It's just supposed to be kind of a general PowerPoint and what I found interesting. So, if you are interested in following the religion a bit more, I'd recommend watching Leah Remini's series about the Scientologists. It's very interesting and you learn a lot about it. So let me know what you think in the comments below. If there's anything that interesting facts that I missed, do let me know. But that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Peace out.